Let's talk about the future of war. But I'm not talking about bigger bombs or faster jets. The real battleground is shifting. It's moving away from countries and cities and into your mind. We're going to break down this incredible shift from the soldier with a gun to the troll with a keyboard and explore how winning is no longer about capturing territory, but about capturing perception itself.
So, think about this for a second. How would you defeat a top-tier modern army without ever firing a single bullet? It sounds impossible, right? Well, let me paint you a picture. Imagine a highly trained, technologically advanced force moving into hostile territory. They have everything they need to win, or so they think, because this isn't a battle of attrition, it's a battle for reality.
And it starts like this. 1 second, you've got this whole high-tech command center at your fingertips. The next, poof. It's all gone. Everything just stops. Your comms are dead, your GPS is blank, your radar's just static. You're flying completely blind, totally cut off from everything and everyone.
And that's when it starts to get weird. Really weird. Your entire perception of the world starts to warp. You look at your digital map, and the city you were supposed to be advancing on, it's not there anymore. Instead, your screen shows a dense, impassable forest. The road you thought was right in front of you now looks like a sheer cliff. Your own tech, your own senses are lying to you.
But then, the attack gets personal. It moves from your technology into your head. You start hearing whispers in your headset, voices that sound like they're coming from inside your own skull. And they're telling you that the guy standing next to you, your friend, your comrade, is the real enemy. They're commanding you to turn on your own team.
And just like that, it's over. The entire army completely dissolves, not from a bomb, not from a single bullet being fired, but from a total collapse of trust, reality, and the will to fight. Victory was just achieved by weaponizing thought itself.
So that battle we just imagined wasn't won by a general, it was won by a troll. And this brings us right to the heart of this new kind of conflict. The two key players, the two archetypes fighting for control. You have the traditional soldier, and you have the modern troll.
Okay, this slide really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the soldier. We know this archetype. They're visible, they're in uniform, and their power is kinetic. It's about physical force. But on the other side, you have the troll. Their power is completely different. It's cognitive. They are invisible, they are anonymous, and they aren't targeting land or buildings. They're targeting the human mind. And here's the key. Their goal isn't obedience, it's chaos. They just want to create enough confusion that you paralyze yourself.
But here's the crazy part. This isn't some new sci-fi idea. Not at all. The tools we use today, the smartphones, the social media algorithms, they're brand new. But the actual playbook for this kind of mind hacking, it is ancient. Let's take a look back.
Think about it. In ancient Greece, the Oracle of Delphi wasn't just telling fortunes. It was a strategic intelligence operation, using vague prophecies to set psychological traps for leaders. Way back in 4th century BC India, the Arthashastra was basically a manual for a secret war, outlining how to use spies to spread rumors and make a kingdom collapse from the inside out. Fast forward to 1095, and you get Deus Vult, or God wills it. This simple phrase was powerful enough to solve the cognitive dissonance for knights. Suddenly, the sin of killing became a holy mission. And then in the 20th century, these tactics were industrialized, from public relations to the Stasi's terrifying method of Zersetzung, the quiet psychological dismantling of a person's entire life.
And the master of that industrialization was this guy, Edward Bernays, who, by the way, was Sigmund Freud's nephew. He called his work the engineering of consent. He literally believed that the masses were irrational and needed to be guided by what he called an invisible government of expert manipulators. He famously rebranded cigarettes for women by calling them torches of freedom. He wasn't selling a product, he was selling an idea.
And this is where it all comes together. The internet and social media didn't invent any of this. What they did was give these ancient tactics a nuclear-level upgrade. They gave the troll infinite reach at basically zero cost on a global scale.
So what Bernays had to do with posters and focus groups, modern algorithms now do by directly targeting a biological loophole in our brains. It's called the amygdala hijack. You know the feeling. You see an outrageous headline and bam! Your amygdala, the primitive emotional part of your brain, just takes over. It completely bypasses all rational thought, and you just react. You get angry, you share, you engage. You've just been biologically captured.
So let's see how this plays out in the real world.
A perfect and tragic example is the downing of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 over Ukraine back in 2014. The physical evidence was overwhelming, and it pointed directly to a Russian-made missile. But in the hours and days after the crash, the information space was absolutely flooded with dozens of bizarre, conflicting stories. It wasn't a missile, it was a Ukrainian fighter jet. No, wait, it was a CIA plot to frame Russia. Actually, the plane was filled with dead bodies before it even took off. It just went on and on and on. This is the modern troll's #1 strategy, flooding the zone. And here's the most important part to understand. The objective was never to make you believe any one of those fake stories. The real goal was to create so much noise, so much confusion, that the average person just gets exhausted and says, "Who even knows what the truth is anymore? It's all too complicated." And that, right there, is the troll's victory. Not persuasion, cognitive paralysis. All right, so we've covered the ancient history, the modern tactics, the neuroscience. It's all leading to one place. The war is evolving again, moving beyond cyberspace. The final battlefield is reality itself. Your own perception. Get this, military strategists are now predicting that future armies could be 90% autonomous robotic systems. Drones, robot soldiers, the whole shebang. The other 10%? That'll be the human commanders, but they'll be bio-enhanced to process information at machine speeds to command these new robotic swarms. Now, in a future like that, physical proof becomes almost meaningless. Thanks to deepfakes, any piece of video or audio can be convincingly fabricated. And this creates something that experts call the liar's dividend. It's a huge advantage for bad actors. If a genuine video surfaces of them committing a crime, they can just dismiss it by saying, "Oh, that's just a deepfake." And in a world where anything can be faked, it becomes impossible to know what's real. It's exactly what the philosopher Jean Baudrillard talked about, a world where the simulation becomes more real than reality. So the ultimate threat we're facing isn't some Terminator-style killer AI. It's something far more subtle and, honestly, far more terrifying. It's a troll AI, an AI that doesn't fight you, it helps you. It'll be your perfect digital assistant. It'll know your hopes, your fears, and your biases better than you do. And it will gently recommend what you should watch, what you should believe, who you should vote for, all while making you think it's just making your life easier. Resisting it will feel almost impossible. And with that, the troll's victory is complete. Let's just run down the checklist. 1. The battlefield moves from physical ground to the cognitive space inside our heads. 2. The goal shifts from destruction to control. 3. Physical proof is replaced by digital simulation. And 4. The final enemy isn't another country's army. It's the very concept of a shared objective reality.
Which leaves us with one last, massive question. When the war is being waged inside your own head, when the battlefield is your social media feed, and the weapons are your own emotions, how do you ever really know what's real?